A combination video of Zenwood and Costello port. I love to show off what I call my super office, and I like to show not just the art that I create with Zenwood, but the process. I think people often do a combination, or they'll do short videos, which is great and eye-catching, but kind of gibberish, and you get addicted to it. Like an example would be like these woodworking videos where they show you a sped-up video of the process. It's cool, but it's kind of garbage. There's just a point where you hit where you're like, all right, well, now what? Well, what do I do? And clearly the idea is to buy it, and that's totally fine. However, I like to be creative. I like to give people things of value. So I just want to show you a quick demo of how I put things in jars. Sounds simple. Sometimes I just do them like it's called dry stack, and that's a form of making retaining walls outside where you do not use mortar or concrete, or let's just say glue. So there's dry stack, and I do that with the jars. I'll dry stack them and layer them and not use glue. It's tricky, and a lot of it can kind of bleed through, so to speak, into the other. You have little layers, and it can bleed through into the layers depending on what kind of material. And obviously you want to put heavier things at the bottom and lighter things at the top. For example, if you put sand all the way at the top, it's going to trickle down, but if you put it at the bottom, it's going to stay put, generally speaking. Sometimes the bleed through can be cool and artistic, and I love it. I also like the idea of using various woodworking glues, non-toxic clear glues. And also experimenting with using things like flour and coffee and spices and salt and dried legumes, dried rice. I mean, I really like using edible culinary products, and I also like using rocks and sand and mulch. So if you're getting the idea here, this is kind of just giving you an idea of the materials and the mediums I use. Obviously, I do different things with Zenwood, and I'll show you real quick an example. It's not just limited to that. Also, taking wood, right? Give you a better view. It's more difficult. Oh, there we go. Doing this upside down backwards is tricky. Okay, so that's Shiva, and those are the 8 different forms of Shiva. This is actually from the Shiva Purana. Let me get that correct. Purana. Let me show you. This is a kid's version, but it's illustrated, and it's very beautiful. Okay? I just like the art. So I did borrow that idea from this Purana, where Shiva has different forms. The stories are not that well written because they are designed for children, but that's okay. Here we go. So, I just take things, riff off of it. Obviously, what are we really creating things totally organically and totally fresh? It's like you'll take things that are in the lexicon of really ancient literature that's a very old diagram. That who even knows who has the copyright to that? Ved Vyasa? Well, he's a rishi, and he might be a fictional character. We don't know that he actually existed, right? So this is my point. My point is be creative, have fun. Obviously, I think this particular art is pretty unique, and I don't see a lot of copying. Example is something I put together already. It's just coffee, Hawaiian blend, in a jar. Now, to prevent mold and deterioration, having as little oxygen in the jar, and then also experimenting with different kinds of sealants that I could put at the top. Say it's possible that even glue. I haven't worked this out yet, but just keep in mind that this is primarily a hobby business. I'm not very concerned about making Zenwood something that generates a lot of income. I have other things for that. This is just for fun. Okay, let's just do a quick demo. That way the video is not too long, and then I'll show you a half-done piece, and then I will photograph and display the finished piece later, because this is probably going to take me time. I want to kind of do a good one. All right, so you got your glue. Yep, that's glue. All right. Let's do a test. Beautiful. It works. Just in case, you know, I might as well show you everything. Elmer's Craft Bond glue. Non-toxic. Safe for children, safe for ingestion. Just kidding. Don't eat it. It's probably fine though. Don't forget coffee. It's not going in the art. I have a whole variety of stuff. Rocks. Flour. Coffee. Salt. Rice, lentils. Chickpeas, black beans. You get the point. Let's start with black beans. No, rocks. Heavy first, remember? I think I have sand somewhere, but I misplaced it. Microfiber towels. If I really wanted to get techie, I would do some gloves so I'm not getting debris on here. But this is really just a prototype. It's in a plastic Planters peanut bottle. I'm not too worried about it. Rice. Allergies. There's going to be some bleed through on this one, so I don't want the glue. I'm just experimenting with a lot of different subtle ways of doing it. I probably should let it dry between each layer. It's very time consuming, and I'm not that worried about it with this piece. pink salt. What do you think? Black? Color black? Yes. It's a great idea. I do have a general theme. I'll just share it with you real quick. It's sort of my own rendition of the flag of India and also the city of Jaipur, which is called the Pink City. And if you look it up, like that pink salt is very much like how the palace is painted. It's in the middle of the desert and it's pink. It's really stunning. So there's also this earthy quality to it. The dirt, the sand of India. I have a fascination with India. We'll get in that later. The pink. The river rock, which I could have done a better job there. So there's a little bit of bleed through, but sometimes I like it. It's a little bit artistic as long as it's not too much. That's what's so great about art is you can do whatever you want. People are like, oh, he's an artist. Of course. Sometimes I tamp it down, sometimes not. All right, what color are we missing? What color? Natural, natural. Lentils, maybe. Bay leaves? Wrong texture. Sesame seeds? No, that'll bleed through too much. The gluing I'm doing it's not perfectly around the edges because I don't want it to be shown on the edge. Too fine as well. The red alea sea salt. I don't know if I said that right. Salt? No. Black tea? I think lentils win. Perfect. I'm going to leave the lid open for a while. And then I think I'm going to dump it all out, just ensure that the glue dries properly this way. I'm just going to say, if you really wanted to do it for resale and whatnot, you probably would want to let the glue dry between each layer. Another Jaipur piece. I like this one. It was a good, spontaneous. I didn't plan this. I'm Sagittarius, that's what I do. And that's what's so fun to me about art. Okay. Leaving it open. That's another favorite section of mine. I'll do a video on that later. Until next time, namaste. Have fun, make art. Turn it into a business if you want. Signing off. This is Zenstello.